Hello, chain breakers. So, is your shame holding you back from your healing? You know, it would be a shame. That's what really is a shame, to go through narcissist abuse and then live your life live your life with the voices of the enemy still in your head, still pounding your head, still ruminating through your head, allowing the enemy to live rent free in your head after going through hell and back. All right, get out of that and still be ashamed of what you've gone through. You know, when you are ashamed, that has an effect on your healing, okay? Because you will play small, because you are ashamed of what you went through as if you did it to yourself. What sense does that make, to be ashamed of something that you did not have control over? Did you have control over the narcissist's actions? Do you have control? You barely have control over yourself. So why are you ashamed of something that you went through? See, when you're like that, your shame will hold you back from your healing. All right, because you're so in your head, you can't get out of your head. You can't get those rejected thoughts out of your head. You can't get that abandonment out of your head. And your shame will literally hold you back. All right, it will spiritually hold you back from your gifts, from the anointing, from your purpose, from God's plan for your life. All right, so don't allow the shame of what you've gone through to affect you for the rest of your life. That is why you have to do an oil change on your mind. All right, that is why God tells us to renew our mind in Him. All right, because if you don't, that enemy will just be battling you, and you won't know your left from your right. You won't know your coming from your going, and that is for a season. You will be that way temporarily as you come out of the fall, because that spirit of insanity, you have been attacked. All right, but it is a shame to get out of a narcissist abuse and still be ashamed. We all have stories that we have not told. For every one story that we tell when it comes to that narcissist, oh, there are plenty more that we do not share because of the shame. But you have to begin to walk out of that. You have to begin to tell God, to tell that enemy, okay, to be obedient to what God tells you to do. That is what it's really about. It is about being obedient to what God tells you to do. And you have to lift yourself up out of that shame in order to do it. All right, so are you prepared? Are you ready to get out of that shame, to stop feeling ashamed for something that you had no control of? A lot of us had narcissistic parents. Could you control that? All right, that's why that spirit was there in the first place. All right, and then that familiar spirit just picked up where the narcissist left off at. All right, so you don't need to be ashamed of anything that you have gone through. All right, that is not of God. That is of the enemy. All right, to be ashamed of something that you had no control over. So you live your life, you be obedient, and you get up and you do what God has called you to do. There's not a thing that anybody can hold over my head. Everything that I've been through, I've grew through. All right, so that is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to evolve when you go through this stuff. It is not designed to keep you stuck and ruminating and never coming to the fullness of who God is in your life. All right, so you have to get past that stuff. You have to tell that stuff that, yeah, I went through it, but it is not who I am. All right, yeah, you went through it. Yeah, you may have did what they said you did, but you are not who they say you are. All right, so it is important to know that. Release that shame. That shame is not yours to bear. Like I always say, who told you that? Who sent you? All right? Who told you that you are supposed to be ashamed of narcissist abuse? And you know what? When I start telling my story, so many people came out. I can't even respond to all DMs now because people come in there telling me their story. Just think if I would have let the shame of narcissist abuse, the shame of having a narcissistic mother, the shame of having a narcissistic family. What if I would have allowed the enemy to have me sit on that? What if I would allow that to permeate my spirit for the rest of my life? All right, so God is waiting on you. Somebody's healing is predicated on you getting up and telling your story. All right, so get up, tell your story. Don't be ashamed of narcissist abuse. You didn't go through all that to sit on all of that. You didn't go through all that to play small for the rest of your life. Somebody needs to hear what you have gone through. Your life, you telling your story, will be somebody's how-to guide. All right? I know we've all seen that meme before. That is so true. It is a trick of the enemy to have you being silenced, to have your voice being silenced. And I'm going to keep saying that. I'm going to keep saying that until you get it. Until you get tired of me saying it. Until I get tired of me. I'm not going to get tired of saying it, because I know God is telling me to say it. All right? So it's going to be hard. All right? Especially when you first get started. Nobody wants to hear it. You're going to think nobody wants to hear about that. Oh, but they're watching. Make no mistake. They are watching you. They may not like a doggone thing. They may not ever hit the like button. They may not ever comment. They may not ever share your stuff out. But make no mistake, they're watching you. They're watching you. You got people watching you to see if you're going to give up. You have people watching you to see if you're for real. You have people to see if you're going to shut up. All right? But I can tell you now, if you're watching me for any of those reasons, the devil is a liar. I will not shut up. I will not sit down. And I will not be ashamed of what God has told me. I will not be ashamed of anything that I went through, because it's all being used for God's glory. All right, so don't be ashamed of what you've gone through. I've been physically abused, sexually abused, financially abused, emotionally abused. And you think why am I ashamed of that? Now I know better. Now I know about these people. All right, so now I get to teach other people about these people. All right, and now I get to tell other people, don't be ashamed of what you're going through. Now I get to tell other people, oh, it's only for a season. Now I get to tell people everything that God puts in my heart. Now I get to share that with other people. But what if I was ashamed? What if you are ashamed? What if somebody needs your story? All right, and God works through us. Everybody's not meant to get on YouTube. Everybody's not meant to do the same thing, but there is a way. There are gifts and talents in you that need to be shared. So don't allow. That would be a shame, to go through narcissist abuse and then live your life for the rest of your life, being affected by that narcissist. That would be a shame, chain breakers. That would be a shame. It's not a shame to go through abuse and to come out of it, or to be in abuse. That's not even a shame. It is a shame to go through it and sit in it and don't share your story, to think that you are the only one going through this. Narcissist abuse affects almost 160 million people worldwide. And for every story, for every person that comes out, there are much, much more that don't. So don't ever feel alone. Don't ever feel like it's just you. Don't ever feel like you're alone. That is a trick of the enemy. He wants you to feel like you are all alone. He wants you to feel like nobody understands your story. He wants you to be isolated. That is why the narcissists are the embodiment of Satan in human form. They come to kill, steal, and destroy you. All right, however they can do it. Some do it on a lower level, some do it on a grander level. But however they can get you, whether it's just a seed being planted, that is their job. So if they can plant a seed and tell you, oh, nobody will listen to you. All right. No, nobody wants to hear your story. You should be ashamed of yourself. You should have known better. You're too old. You're too old to leave the narcissist. You're too young to leave the narcissist. You can't leave home. You can't do this. You can't do that. Boy, y'all better stop listening to them demons. Y'all better stop listening to those liars, because the devil is a liar. All right. The devil is a liar. Y'all, look at my hair. It looks an absolute mess, but I don't care, because I know how to clean up, and I don't listen to the lies of a lying loser. All right? To tell me, oh, you got to have your hair straight for this video. No, I don't. No, I do not, because they still going to get this message. All right? So have no shame. Have no shame about what you've gone through. Get up. Get up and fight. Get up and tell the demon, not today. He will not have your life. Break those chains.